week number 3 kicking off, and also on Mondays, it's really the wrapping up of week number 2. So we always kind of wrap up the week on the Monday, giving you a chance to do work over the weekend if you need to. I know a lot of you work during the week, and that might be the only time you can get to the class, so it's designed for that. But I really hope, if that's not the case, that you try to do the work in the week before, and then you can have the weekend off and maybe finish anything up on Monday. That's a great way to go. But whatever works for you. And just a couple things as we move into finishing week number 2 and moving into week number 3. I just want to say, a lot of people showed up, were able to join the class last week, so we had a lot of new people coming in. And I designed this class for that, so the first 2 weeks kind of really easier settling in. You don't have any heavy reading, you don't have any movies to do an analysis on. It's really about who are you, who am I, what is humanities, and how do we apply it to film. And then we're kind of going through this chronological journey through American film. So a great place to start is with the silent era, that sort of social connections of what's happening in America, what's happening globally, with changes from the Victorian era to maybe the Roaring 20s. How big change is that? Just the style of dress, how women are portrayed, culture in general. But also in the middle of that, you have World War I. Even into the silent era, you have the era of the Depression, and then that's just the tail end into the talkies. Okay, so there's quite a lot of historical important themes going on, and that's all reflected in film, and no different to today. So that's going to be a really important theme throughout this class. The other thing that you're also going to be able to do, and what you've did, is sort of looking at how the silent era worked with culture, how it changed the way we view ourselves, how we view people on the screen. So there's a lot of things each week with the discussions to be talking about, depending on what you really are finding interesting or what's connecting to. There's a lot of interpretation. Now, I know there are so many ways to use. ChatGPT is so old news now, right? There's so much new AI ways of making it easier to really put a question in and information and have it shoot out. But there's absolutely no fun in that. And for this class, really, there's no reason to. I really care about what you have to say, what you think. There's no real wrong answer, right? So don't get to the point where you're overwhelmed and you feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this assignment. It'll just be easier to put it into an AI tool. Please just don't do that. It's not necessary. There's very few classes throughout your education that'll be foundationally focused on films. I took one when I was a student at Shasta. It no longer is available. I'm luckily taken over that sort of class now that I'm a teacher here. And I think it's one of the best classes you can do because it's your own analysis, your own interpretation. You're the textbook, right? Your worldviews and your experience in life is the textbook. I'm just giving you information about stuff of how to apply your own views and ideas into something new and to analyze it through your own lens. That's the beauty of humanities. You're understanding people and cultures and things of the past and things of the present based on new information synthesized with your own views. That's important, and that's nothing AI can do. That's one thing they haven't developed well, is being able to create that worldview that's so unique. So I just want to plug that I do read the discussions. I read everything you say, and it makes sense to me to be able to see your views and your voice shine through. Makes it more fun, and it's more fun for you, and it's very much more fun for me. So think of that as we're moving now into week number 3, which is your first movie. I'm really excited. I love getting into the movies. That's what this class is, really the foundation of this class. So, and there's lots of ways to watch this one for free. I have a link on YouTube. It's so old that it's past, copyright issues, right? So, you could find it everywhere. It's called City Lights. I had the whole modules based around that. Now, the best discussions are using information you've learned for the context-wise from the week before. So last week about the silent era, what was happening with film, what was happening culturally, any information about what's happening during the Depression, because that's really going to be the focus of this film. The Depression era. Everything was turned upside down. People who had some wealth lost everything. And there's a sense of internal pride that your life isn't going to change despite of your economic circumstances. Sound familiar? That a lot of people deal with that in the 21st century today as well. It's no different in the 1920s and into the 30s. So you're going to see that on the film. I'll say this throughout a lot of times. This is a tough one for a lot of people because there's no talking. It's a really interesting film, though, because it's made in the era right at the dawn of talkies. So they have the technology, and even the camera they use has the capability of recording sound. And they do, and you'll see in the beginning, they use a kazoo, and that's actually recorded sound. But Charlie Chaplin chose to continue on this genre of a silent film despite the technology. There's something to think about there as you go through this as well. And how that sort of the artistic push for his style, what he wanted to say. And it was 20 times harder. You're going to see that as you're going to see how much longer and many takes they have to take to get all the movements. It's like a dance, not just dialogue. It's a dance. So there's that. Now, when you watch this film, create a space for yourself. Don't watch it on your phone. Don't watch it with loud people running around and kids jumping here and there. Like, try to create your space. This is your time. If you have people to be able to watch it with, that's even better. It's designed that way. These silent films are designed to sort of watch together and engage, talk to each other as it's going on. That's how they used to have it in the theater. Think of how different that is now because they're not talking. So you could sort of talk and engage what you're seeing in front of you. So just make a space for yourself. Make it fun. Make it a Friday night party. You know, dress up in the roaring 20s into the 30s, the Depression era, which wouldn't be too roaring. This is the opposite of that. Get some nice popcorn and have a movie night, and then you guys can talk about it afterwards. That's going to make these kind of movies more fun, okay? Just an idea. So that's going to be the focus. I will be grading by Thursday, so everything now that you've done the orientation, you've done what is humanities, you've done what is the silent era, and that's those discussions, I'll be able to grade that by Thursday. Also Thursday, I want to put a plug in for office hours. If you want to chat one-on-one, I'd love to get to know you. I would almost make it mandatory, but I stopped doing that just because you're so busy, and I understand that. And if Thursdays don't work for you, just message me and we can schedule another time. I'd love to get to know you, even if it's 5 minutes, just to say hi. Just to so you know I'm a real person, and so I know you're a real person, and just, you know, we're people, and that's how we connect. So it helps me understand where you're coming from when I get assignments in. It helps you understand, you know, my background of who I am, and that just makes the class much more fun. So if you have a chance to do that, I recommend doing it. This Thursday's great. If you want to do office hours then, the week after that, I'll be around. You can always do a chat on WhatsApp. If you want to just, maybe that's the easiest way. Be like, you know what, I have 5 minutes. Can't get in front of a computer, but I have WhatsApp, and we could do a quick WhatsApp chat. That's an option too. Okay, so there's many ways for us to connect. I recommend doing that. Let me know any concerns you have along the way too. Not just for this class, but college in general. I was a student at Shasta, as you know, 20 years ago plus, goodness. But so I understand balancing it with life. Things come up, and it's just so much better if you can communicate it together, and that's what I'm here for. So just to know. Now, again, looking ahead real quickly, and I know this, I want to keep this video under 10 minutes so you can get on with your day. So really this week, really do everything. Don't just go straight to the movie. There's a lot of interesting documentaries I put in there. They should work. I'm doing it from the UK, and sometimes the YouTube copyright is different. So sometimes all of a sudden the video I post doesn't work in the US. But you could you can Google it. I mean, you could search it in YouTube and find it again, or let me know and I'll find it, or find different ones. There's a lot of good things out there about this movie. That gives you a great background of all the work and interesting background of the actors and what's going on and the cultural significance and all these things that you're going to write about in the discussion. Now, the best discussions using information you learned from last week, answering the questions. This one, there's a lot of different questions, so you can pull different questions that are interesting to you and do that as you go through the movie. You know, think of the questions and maybe write some notes as you watch the movie. That's useful, or watch it again really briefly. You can go on IMDb and and other places and get the transcripts, although there's not much discussion in this one, but for future movies you can get the transcript, so that's useful. Make this yours. This is your baby. This is your time to kind of get into something and make it yours. So that's what we're doing. We're going to move into after this, so this will be due next Monday. Then we're going to move into the next era. It's going to go chronologically. What would be after the Depression? that would be the World War II. So World War II movies, and more broadly, war movies. And then we're going to get into what that is, and I have a lecture there. We're going to look at the complexities of war movies. You're going to watch a war movie that's Casablanca. And if you know the movie Casablanca, you might be shaking your head thinking, why is that considered a war movie? You will understand that in week number 4, but week number 4 and 5. But that's going to be moving ahead, and I'm really excited about that one. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. So, but kicking off our first movie, City Lights, finishing off this idea and look at the very earliest film, which is, of course, the silent era, and think about how people have changed since 100 years ago, maybe haven't changed. Think of the values. Think of what could you be placed back in that time, and how really familiar or foreign would culture and lifestyles be, even if it's within the same U.S. culture. So that's something to think about. There's a lot to think about with this. Have fun with it. Reach out if you have questions. Look at your gradebook by Thursday, because you'll see all that in there, and comments. I have comments on there. I'll do, and if you want to chat one-on-one, reach out. We could talk through WhatsApp. It's just really informally and fun, or a Zoom chat if that's easier too. All right, have a great week, everybody. We'll be in touch, and talk to you later.